Hello there and good morning. After yesterday's wall-to-wall press coverage of England doing its bit to preserve world peace by not winning the Euro 2020s on Sunday and the subsequent day of mourning, I decided I'd have a look around the press today and see if anything else was in evidence, and three little stories caught my eye. As ever, please like, subscribe and comment below. And why not buy a mug with my mug on it? And now we come to the first little story that caught my eye today. And the first little story that caught my eye was the foreign aid budget cut. Now, if you remember, Boris Johnson promised to reduce the foreign aid budget from 0.7% of gross national income to 0.5%, to cut about 2, 3, maybe £4 billion from the bill that we have to pay, so we don't have to borrow so much more money. And it just makes more sense to spend the money in the country while we're going through this pandemic. However, a lot of MPs got all uptight about this and went into meltdown, all demanding that they have a substantive vote on it so that they could reverse it and all look good on the world stage by handing our money out to the rest of the world. Now, even the Speaker, Lindsay Hoyle, said that MPs should have had a vote or a say on this. In the end, Jacob Rees-Mogg has been forced to cave in. That's right, as the leader of the House who sets the business agenda, he and Boris Johnson have got together and decided that MPs will get a vote, and they're getting a vote today on the foreign aid budget cut. Now, the wording of the motion says that MPs have considered the budget cut, so that they can say they've talked about it and vote on it and say, yes, we have considered it. However, that normally means that it's not a binding thing, it's not a binding vote. But yesterday, Jacob Rees-Mogg said in the House that this would be a binding vote. So if they vote down that they haven't considered, so they say they haven't considered it, then the budget cut does not happen. It stays at 0.7% of GNI. Now, there is talk that some of the rebels on the Tory side that were threatening to vote against the government on this are beginning to waver. So it would be interesting to see exactly who does vote on this and which way they do vote. Now, the second story here is English votes for English laws. Now, this is, I'm not sure if everybody knows about this, but under devolution, where the Scottish have a parliament, the Welsh have a parliament, Northern Ireland have their assembly in Northern Ireland and all the rest of it, England hasn't got anything like that at all. So what they did was they sort of botched it. They put some rules in place in the House of Commons where MPs could only vote on English matters, things that affect England only, if they were MPs for English constituencies. And if it affected England and Wales, then it would be English and Welsh constituency MPs could vote on those matters. However, the government says it wants to make the UK government UK once again, and they're going to vote today on changing those internal House of Commons rules to get rid of them, so that MPs from across the UK can all vote on English-only matters. That's right. Now, that all sounds so okay, there's so many English MPs, it doesn't matter. But it does. It's just a constitutional thing. Why should the English be the only ones that don't have a full say? Now, I get a feeling in the back of my mind that the government may be looking at maybe sort of saying, tell you what, let's have an English parliament later down the line. No, I don't think so. Do you? No. I think what they're going to do is aim to slowly devolve more powers to people like Sadiq Khan in London and all the other mayors, and set up more devolution to split England up into bite-sized chunks, each having their own devolved powers. So I do wonder about scrapping these English votes for English laws. It doesn't sound fair to me, it doesn't sound right, and I'm wondering what the grand scheme really is. And the third and final story that caught my eye was that of Richerd Branson. Yes, he of Virgin fame. Do you remember last year when the pandemic started? He was pleading poverty and asking the UK government, i.e. us the taxpayer, to fund millions for his airline to keep it afloat. Or should I say, airborne. But suddenly, in the recent past, he's managed to find a few million behind the sofa, underneath the cushions, because he suddenly blasted himself into space in a race with various other billionaires round the world to try and be the first up there. And just before he blasted off, he had a go at Brexit. Quelle surprise. There you go, having a go at Brexit, saying that the UK will be back in the EU. Fat chance. Please subscribe and like this video, buy a mug and support me on Patreon or PayPal, and thank you for watching.